The University of Abuja says it will soon begin exploration of mineral deposits on its campus to boost the nation's economy and gross domestic product. Vice-Chancellor of the institution, Professor Abdurrashid Allah, said this in Abuja at a symposium organized by the university's Institute for Legislative Studies with the theme Legislative Intervention in Nigeria's Mining Sector for Sustainable Revenue Generation. According to him, the university will start the exploration of minerals after all due processes with the government have been followed, and the institution's geology and mining department, which is already underway, had been established.
As far as I'm concerned, I know that one economy nation cannot survive. And the fact that we've been depending on oil all this time has shown us that we are in for trouble. And I think the move now to diversify is the right thing. And there are so many areas we can diversify. Agriculture is one of them. Tourism is one of them. And all we're trying to do now is to mobilize the development of a Department of Geology, which has already been approved by Senate. It's called Geology and Mining. And now have our strategies about how we want to collaborate with industry. So we are intensifying that effort. And we hope that in no distant future, we'll have, this department, with all the strategies to make sure that we help the national development through mining on our campus. But it has to be controlled by us. We are intended to have collaboration with private companies, with industries. That is our interest.
Professor Sharif Ibrahim, the director of the Institute for Legislative Studies, said the symposium aimed to drive an overhaul of the mining sector and its legislations in order to create a boom in the sector.
Nigeria being the largest economy in Africa, but still remains a monocultural economy, not succeeding in diversifying the economy of this particular entity. And when Mr. President came in 2015, his major priority, as he pointed out, was to diversify the Nigerian economy, as well as look into the mining sector, and that is why he traveled to China, met with President Xi Jinping, as well as other stakeholders in the mining business. Nigeria, we have just 0.3 or 0.55 contribution to our annual GDP, that is the mining sector. Why is it so? Because this sector is not fully harnessed. The Mining Act, the mining regulations exist, but you always know the problem, which is hinged on execution, implementation, as well as stringent or rigid monitoring and evaluation of these particular regulations. We also have other issues of state government intervention in the mining sector. But we want a kind of amendment as well as other submissions from the legislative arm, which will guarantee a kind of adequate and efficient utilization of this particular sector for better and adequate revenue generation for Nigeria.
Dr. Maina Sarah Umar, an international law analyst, also urged the government to invest heavily in the development of the mining sector to attract foreign investors and to increase revenue generation for the country. Umar also called for legislations to allow the establishment of mining institutions which were lacking in the country.
The government should be prepared to invest heavily. If the government cannot invest heavily, we should be able to attract foreign investments. We should be able to attract foreign investment going by Section 19 of the Constitution, which talks about our foreign policy drive. Section 19 has 5 subsections. The 5th one talks about us contributing toward the economic and security well-being of the world. And mining is one of those areas that has been a turbulent area all over the world. So security of lives and properties should be guaranteed, and in as much as we want to extract mining as a way to embolden our revenue generation base. We should have legislation to streamline the conflict of ownership of the land in between the Land Use Act and the control of the mineral resources by the federal government, the Land Use Act by the state government. The legislation should be geared towards solving that problem. There should be a legislation to now solve that problem. That is one. Number two, there should be the legislation to establish security architecture in the mining sites. There should be security in the mining sites. Otherwise, it will not be conducive, especially going by the international nature of mining, whereby you have so many expatriates coming into it. It is important you have security in the mining sites. There should be a legislation to now delineate the revenue that is accruing from mining. What percentage should go to the local community? What percentage should go to the revenue of the state government? And what percentage should go to the federal government? It is very, very important you think about that. And then fourthly, there should be a correlation between the embassies, the missions in Nigeria, and those foreign partners that are going there. Every person that is on our bush side, the legislature should make it mandatory for the foreign missions in the country to be able to identify and know and take ownership of any of their citizens that is in their mining site, so that we will be able to know how many foreigners are there, what are their activities, what are their antecedents, what are their biodata regarding the country they are living and where they are coming from. And then